So this is the first rule of habit engineering. And habit engineering is the term I use to distinguish from habit building. So habit building is using willpower, motivation, trying harder. It doesn't work. Habit engineering is using your creativity and your intelligence, the principles of behavioral psychology to engineer and design the changes in your habits so that you actually stick to them. So the first rule is to make your habits too easy. And that's important. I say too easy because you should literally feel like, Jackson, why the hell am I even doing this? Because most people, when we're starting to build a new habit, especially when we think about these habits of happiness, right, that are meant to support our mental health, our physical health, our well-being, we start with something huge. Like, I want to run a marathon this year. I'm going to go out and run 5 miles this week. So maybe you're really motivated and really disciplined. You go out tomorrow and you run 5 miles and you're just shot. You can't even get off the couch for the next week. It's not practical. Right? We tend to overestimate what we can do in the short term, and in turn we underestimate what we can do in the long term. So starting with a habit that's too easy, it's the idea of focusing on consistency and repetition instead of scale or scope. Right? So again, another way to think about this is saying about with reading maybe. So you can say, well, I want to read for 2 hours a week, so on Saturday you get up, have your cup of coffee, and you read for 2 hours. I say it's better to go for, say, 10 minutes a day. And the reason for that is because every time you do it, it's like one iteration or one repetition, one completion of the habit. So if you do it for a week, you end up having kind of 7 wins or 7 habit repetitions. Whereas you do that 1-2 hour big one, it's great, you did 2 hours, but you really only got that one win. So when we make things too easy, we allow ourselves kind of the space to build that consistency. And the second part of this is keeping in mind that it can be scalable. Right? So you might start with 5-minute meditation every day. You have to have that habit in place before you can build on it, before you can expand it. So you start with the 5 minutes, do that for a couple of weeks, and then maybe move to 10 minutes, then 15, then 20. So it's kind of like that domino effect. Right? So when we think about changing things, right, we want to start with something that's too easy, something that we know we can do, so that we can start to build up that momentum. And here's an important thing to keep in mind. Motivation doesn't come before you do the thing. Motivation comes after, when you start to feel that momentum. Every single day you do it. Or maybe it's a weekly habit. Every single week you do it. Right? That's where motivation comes in. So the most important thing is take whatever kind of habit, whatever area of your life you want to start focusing on improving, scale it down. What is the version of it that would be too easy? Something that you know you can do every single time without question. Because like I said, you have to have the habit before you can build on it and expand it. Otherwise, you don't get any momentum.